We've got a lot of snooker fans around, and I managed to play a frame against this gentleman, Paul Hollywood, a great British bake-off star, delightful fella, and not a bad snooker player. I think he bakes slightly better than he pots. A great character. Oh, this red's going right. It might go in the pocket. Well, when things are going well for you, that's the type of thing that happens. When they're not. And he's on the yellow. He's got an angle on the yellow. You can get up to the reds near the black here. Well, they've got the one in the middle of the table, but in a couple of shots' time, he'll be on the two reds near the black. They're not perfectly placed.
I'd like to see that, what we consider a fluke here, because I didn't see Ronnie apologise. Did he think it possible plant? No, there's no way. So he must have apologised and put his hand up. He would normally. I just didn't see it.
Four.
Just have a look at this shot here. If he pulls this off, what's the positional side of this? Overdone it. Bit unlucky.
9.
Yeah, I like you thought he may play for the red that was just to the right of the black there, but yeah, as you say, overdid it. And that red was a little bit too difficult to cope with. Always are when you're playing into a blind pocket. You can see the cue ball, you see the object ball, but the pocket's out of vision, so you've got to pick that spot, as you can see. Ronnie couldn't see the pocket, it wasn't in his eye line. So for once, Barry has seen Ronnie get in and not score a lot. In the two frames this morning, Ronnie in the first frame had a break of 83. The last frame he had a breaks of 53 and 30. So not getting a lot of table time, isn't Barry? Just 9 points to his name this morning so far. Bit thin on this.
You can get past the pink just to glance off the reds here. That's pretty good. Very well played. Yeah, when we talk about a blind pocket, we can show you here. He's trying to cut this into the left corner. Now, if Hawkeye shows you, that's the potting angle. You can't see the pocket in your eye line, so that's what we mean when we say he's cutting it into a blind pocket. I mean, the thing is, Ronnie's got such a good tactical game as well. Ronnie was down looking over Barry's shoulder there. There's two reds. I don't know if they're a plant into the right corner or whether the other red's in the road, but he can't get through to it anyway. So we can only see this one red, and it's not the sort of shot you'd want to be taking on. There's no colour available. Yeah, well played. Lots of check side there. So You're just going to the left of the pocket, but if you were in the right position, you could squeeze that and make the plant. But how would you get into the right position with all those reds blocking them?
Well, Ronnie's left a pot to the right corner, but what a superb length of cue ball, and that's the problem for Barry coming to the table. If he could get his hand on the table, he'd knock this red in, no problem whatsoever. But tight under the baulk cushion, different matter. Well, he's given it plenty of thought. It looks like he's taking this pot on. If he does, he needs to get it. It's very dangerous. Now he's played the safety. But he had to be very, very thin.
Foul and a miss. Bernard Sullivan, 4.
Ronnie may not have it replaced because, oh yes, he is doing. He just sees it as a very difficult safety shot for Barry. The only reason I thought Ronnie may not have it replaced, there was a chance that with him, with his hand on the table, to pot this red that Barry's trying to play thin off. He'll get a warning now.
Foul and a miss.
I'd come around and have a look at the possible plant now, John. He did have a glance at it, but he's got to hit a red now, otherwise he loses the frame. I mean, Ronnie can get on, as you mentioned, and he probably will this time, because there is a path round the back of the black, you would feel.
Yeah, the thing is with that plant we looked at, you'd have to hit the first red on the right-hand side as the player looks at it to push the second red to the left, and there's no way at the moment from this angle, but you can pot the loose red. Ronnie fancies it now.
1.
Nicely controlled positional shot. Give a little bit extra so he'd be on baulk colour. Didn't want to risk everything by trying to get a nice angle on the blue.
I do love that side-on shot. It shows you how long the snooker table is. You know, it's 12 foot by 6 foot, and sometimes it looks smaller on the television, but that side-on shot shows you exactly how big the table is in comparison to the player. I think people, when they come to the Crucible for the first time, they say, oh, I didn't realize the table was so big. Well, look at this shot. And he's not straight, he can get out on the black.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be unlucky at first, didn't you? He just flicked the red, but the red just bounced back off the cushion. If we look at this, he didn't want to knock this red tight to the cushion, but it went to the cushion, but bounced out, and as you say, then, he's got the perfect angle. Now, you could definitely think about playing this plant because, as I say, if you hit the, as Ronnie will look at it, if you hit the first red on the right-hand side, it'll push the second one to the left, and they're so close together it can be made quite easily. Might decide to save it for an emergency.
Eleven.
Come a little bit straight on this red to the left middle. You'd like to more of an angle, so in potting it, he could get on the blue but be a little bit further away from the cushion.
12.
But that's where he's so good, isn't it, Dennis? He plays his little stun run-throughs just to widen the angle, makes it look so easy, but You've got to have a good touch to play them. Well, this plant will be no more because the red, the left hand of the two reds, that's the one he's played on. I think he may have to go back up for the blue. I don't think he can play for the black off this.
18.
He didn't get into that one at all. He won't be happy with that. It's difficult now. Look at the cue power he's generated there. What a shot this is. I mean, he made that look easy. That was so difficult from that angle.
23.
All the top spin inside on it, sent it right around the table. That's a little beauty. Just looking at the tip, sometimes the little fibers are just, you can see it when you look down the cue. Have a little
24.
bit of very fine sandpaper just to smooth the edges of the tip.
Yeah, a little smile there from Ronnie. Just overhit that a little bit, but to the extent he may decide to play the cannon here. If he played the cannon on the pink, he'd still leave the red to the right middle. So you wouldn't have to play it with a lot of pace, but if you got the cannon on the pink, he'd have a red to the right middle. He's in the position where he thinks there's enough loose reds, don't really have to go into them hard and trust to luck. So control cannon. Well, in the end, he decided to play it with pace. And the question, well, he's got a red to the right corner. He'd be slightly hampered queuing.
29.
Didn't want to risk just... As long as he keeps control of this red, I think it's the one on the extreme right of the table. I don't think he can get through to the one he was looking at there. So just get, well, he cues it so nicely, doesn't he? Awkward cueing it appeared, but no problem.
30.
And now you wouldn't expect him to not take full advantage of this opportunity. This looks like another frame that Barry Hawkins, he's not going to get much of a chance in.
35.
It's hard for him at the moment.
36.
And I think what you alluded to as well, he's only just a great potter break builder. It's just Ronnie's tactical game can freeze players out. You know, I mean, you say that about Steve Davis. You'd never have said that about Stephen Hendry, for example, would you? That his safety play would freeze a player
41.
out. Stephen was a potting machine, a break building machine, but Ronnie's got an all-round game that you felt even if he wasn't at his best, he could win matches.
Yeah, Stephen Hendry's great line used to be, he thought safety was overrated. But that was the way he played the game, and that was why he became one of the greatest cueists of all time.
50.
In fact, I thought he would remain the greatest cueist of all time, but I think Ronnie may just have overtaken him.
55.
Frame already safe.
56. $63. 64.
Well, he's just cueing so well here. He's back at his best. And he's doing what comes natural to him. He's made 7 centuries so far this year at the Crucible.
79.
This would be his 8th. And it would be 48 in
80.
total. We had 55 centuries last year here. Long way short of the, I think the record's 80 or 81. In the
85.
but this has been
87.
flawless. Yeah,
90.
he looks very, very comfortable out there this morning.
$94. 99.
Century number 8 for Ronnie O'Sullivan. And that is Ronnie's 8th century in this year's World Championship. The rocket is on fire at the moment, and he extends his lead even further. He now leads 9 frames to 2.